Here. Okay. Welcome everyone to Masculine Geek number 80, Livestream Dungeons and Dragons game, session 6. And if you've been following along with our Dungeons and Dragons games, you realize that Dungeon Master Drew finished up his campaign in session 5. So we had 5 sessions for that campaign. And now we have another guest DM, Mr. Rollo Tomassi, who's going to bring us back to old school Gygaxian Dungeons and Dragons. So take it away, Rollo.
Cool. So I'm going to do this as sort of an old school D&D game. Sorry, I'm putting my music on here for you guys. So you get the idea. All right. You can do all kinds of good stuff with this. All
Epic.
Right. Yeah. So actually, let me kill that for the time being. Okay. So here's how I run things when I'm playing. I haven't done a real old school game in a long time. I used to occasionally do them at local conventions like RageCon and some of the places that, the ones that are around here in Northern California and stuff. And they go over really well because when you do them at a convention, it's usually you have a time frame when you're playing these games. So usually they're slotted into like 2 hours here, 2 hours there, or whatever. And I've always thought that it would work really good as an online kind of thing. So when I see like some of these D&D YouTube games, or like, what is it, what's the really popular one?
Is it like Critical Role?
Critical Role or something like that.
Yeah.
It's more of
Matthew
like,
Mercer.
It's more of like it seems to me more of like a social event. It's like watching The View where they play D&D. So
it really is. I can't stand it.
And, I think I've been turning you on to this one guy he's one of my favorite follows on Twitter right now. And I really wish I remembered his name, but he's sort of this D&D purist, if there is such a thing. And so he was going back through a lot of the old AD&D and the old, like the OD, like first edition. AD&D actually stands for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and it's the second edition technically of D&D. The first edition was like the little teeny tiny paperback little things that they produced, like Gygax produced back in like the mid 70s, that are worth, like, if you have one in mint condition, it's probably worth about $10,000 right now. Yep. So that was actually the first, the old school books, like this book right here, like this one. That is
got those. Yeah.
Second edition. So you can find those. You can find one. And I was telling you guys before, you don't have to necessarily get those, but that's the way I grew up playing. And if you guys have seen Stranger Things and you've seen the kids in that was me. I was exactly that age at that time. I was 15 how old was I? In 1980, I would have been 12.
I was 10. So yeah.
82, I would have been 14. So right about that time, I would have been about that age. So that's my experience of D&D. And the reason I like it, and I still keep coming back to it, is because it's, I think it's the best form of D&D because it is an open sandbox. There was no nothing was enclosed. It was like all whatever you wanted to do. And technically you can still do that with D&D right now, but it's not encouraged as much as it was back in the day. And I've got that was it Art and Arcana or something like that. It's like the history of Dungeons and Dragons and art and all that stuff. And it's
that coffee table book is fantastic. Yeah.
It's really, really good.
So
every time I read that, I'm like, man, I want to play these again. So
I know, right?
And just to give you a little bit more background, I played D&D quite a bit when I was in junior high school and high school. And then I kind of gave it up when I was about 17 or 18. Because I realized I couldn't get laid if I played.
Hence the guitars.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I was playing guitar at 13, but yeah. So and then I came back to it a little bit afterwards. I got into Warhammer like when I got into college, and I really loved that too. And then I played a little bit. I never really got back into it hardcore until my daughter got old enough to play D&D. And so I started playing with her, she loved the game, and still to this day at 22 years old loves the game so much that she goes and she likes to play with her, like the friends that she knows at college and stuff like that. She gets into it, which is kind of funny because she's like sort of a pageant girl. She's like this pretty girl who likes to play D&D.
That's pretty cool.
And so she would drag her friends in, and so at one point over the summers when she was in junior high school, I used to run a campaign every Sunday afternoon in the summertime when they were on summer break from with about like 4 girls who are between the ages of like say 12 and like 13 or 14, and they loved every minute of it. I thought it was the most ironic thing in the world because back then only boys played D&D.
Yeah.
No girl that wouldn't have anything to do with the boys that played D&D, right? And I thought
you were made fun of by girls.
Oh yeah,
it was, exactly. And it was a sure thing that you were going to remain a virgin for the rest of your life if you played D&D. So that's I got back into it a little bit more then, and I'm a pretty imaginative guy anyways. Pretty much mostly my games are old school D&D stuff, and so I started doing some stuff at tournaments and playing here and there. Like I was saying before, I really like to bring my friend Spencer Harding in on this.
Sure.
I want to, because now StreamYard supports up to 10 people on a stream. So we can. I don't see any problem adding one more guy on.
No, that's fine.
So Spencer, like when we were doing the previous one with Drew, he really wanted to get in, and I'm like, I would love to, but I can't put you in. We don't have any more slots available.
Yeah, there's
now
unfortunately.
We do. So I thought maybe that'd be fun, and I think Aaron would probably get along real good with Spencer too. So we'll see how that works. So, anyways, that's my background as far as running games are concerned. So I'll just since everybody who's watching this right now, I'll just sort of go run down the list of a few things that are different, I think, now in this version of D&D, in the differences between old school Gygaxian and Gygaxian D&D versus like what's going on right now. And really, I think you guys wanted to do something that was sort of, it's red pill D&D, right? It's more masculine. It's more, we're not worried about stepping on anybody's toes as far as, being woke or any of that kind of crap that's going on right now, particularly on online streams that are playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Absolutely.
So the difference, that one of the big things, and Drew, don't take this as a hit on you or anything like that, but like the I think one of the biggest differences between how we do D&D now and how we used to do it, like I said, is D&D used to be an open sandbox, and so you were encouraged to sort of make your own little worlds. Gygax had Greyhawk, and there used to be I forget what Forgotten Realms was another one, and that was sort of like, it was okay to play in those realms, in those kind of worlds, like they were sort of game worlds, but they, original D&D encouraged you to sort of make it up as you go along, and I thought that was the original appeal. That's what everybody really liked so much about it. So a lot of the stuff that I do, like I was telling you guys before. The environments, sometimes traps will kill you quicker than a monster will kill you in old D&D. So have to watch out for those. There's a reason why you have passive checks for spotting a hidden door. And of course, if you're an elf, that's one thing. If you're a thief, that's another thing. Aaron, you play a rogue, right?
correct.
So you're playing a rogue. So technically, you would technically be a thief in this context, I guess.
Not rogue assassin.
Well, you could be if you'd like to. I've got plans for you specifically. Actually,
Oh, good. Oh, good. Can't wait.
I've got plans for you, Sarah and Grat at all at the same time. So
last time we had plans, you stood me up, but that's
you guys.
I heard about that.
You guys are roguish assholes. I'd like to start with Sled a little bit first. So Sled is and correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't get your sheet just yet, Aaron.
Sorry.
So if you want to pass that on to me when you can.
I will.
Lazy fucker.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I have.
Might be busy, but okay. Here we go.
I have Drew.
Yeah.
I have Grot. I have Sarah. So, and I don't have Aldemar yet. I don't have TJ's character just yet.
I'll let him know. Yeah.
I'm working on. I will be working with Spencer to get his character. I don't know what he's going to choose just yet. I think we have a pretty well-rounded party right now. Normally, I wouldn't allow like a tiefling in for something like this, because it's a real. I know why they put it in there, like back in the day, back in the
4th edition. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's cool. I mean, there's a lot of A lot of variability, I think, in D&D. In old school D&D, it was if you played a dwarf or an elf or whatever, it was sort of up to you to decide if you wanted to be like a high elf or a gray elf or a wood elf, and then you
moon elf.
Yeah, do whatever
Yeah.
you want. Like there was no, you could, technically, I guess you could play a drow, but like that was very discouraged because it was very imbalancing for the game. I think the tiefling character, Rob, will be very good in this particular campaign. So that's why I was like, yeah, I think that's going to be, you'll be a good fit for what I want to do with this one.
Okay.
But as far as the rogue character, that would in old school D&D that would be a thief. So, or if you wanted to be a sort of if you want to be an assassin, and in this case, you might probably end up being an assassin.
He is.
As well. So under the old school rules, I was looking at the differences between like the old school rules and 5th edition. One thing that I don't think that they have in 5th edition is the old school rule for backstabbing for the rogue or the thief character. So I'm going to give that to you, Aaron, in this one, so you'll have the backstabbing ability.
Backstabbing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you going to be you're at 5th level or 6th level right now?
I am at. Where the hell am I? 55. I think 5th level.
5th level. Okay, good enough. I know that Grot's at 6 right now. So
Yeah.
So at 5th level, actually, let's go over your stuff really quickly here.
I tweeted it to you over on the. So you got my.
It's in
character sheet.
the. He took a photo and sent it in the direct message on Twitter.
Okay.
Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
Gay.
What? Well, what's wrong with that?
Email it so he can print the shit out.
That's all right. As long as I can see it or I've got a copy of it, it's cool.
All right.
We need to. So you're already at 5th level, so we need to sort of pick out your archetype. So did you want to go with a thief archetype, or did you want to be more of an assassin archetype?
I prefer to be an assassin.
Good. Okay, we'll work with that. You'll have the assassin archetype, and if you're looking in the 5th edition book, you can see the roguish archetypes right here. I think maybe there's probably more than this two. I know that there's a mage one too, but that assassin one will work good for this campaign. So,
All right, now I got backstab. You said.
yeah, they have backstab. Let's see.
Aaron, you are a fucking artist. That's all I gotta say.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
showed you that picture before.
You see the fucking stick figure?
You need to share that on the screen. You need to
All right,
show that.
let me share.
Don't
this
direct
out.
tweet. Why couldn't you email it? Now you guys are gonna share my artwork. Okay.
Now we're gonna mock you online. Hang on. Hang on, wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, fuck.
There you go.
Make sure that, hey, all of our meme creators that happen to be in the fucking chat, make sure you do what you will with this.
This is Aaron Clary's assassin character, Sled. Mr. Moneybags
this shit
himself.
and meme the fuck out of it.
You know what to do. All right. Back to the game. As it were.
Okay. Expertise. Sneak attack, thieves can't, cunning action, profanity, poison, profanity. Kit and Sky.
Got that in Spain.
This was a pre-made character. I just picked this out.
That's funny.
Yeah, you're a lazy fuck.
Okay, we're gonna build you up too. Also, actually, I'm gonna hook you guys up with some equipment for this one too. Sled is 5th level. You are going to be the assassin archetype. Let's see. That's a good thing you're at 5th level. So let's work with you here. Under the old school rules, and I think this is something that you might want to write down on your character sheet. There's different kind of skills that thieves archetypes, anyways, can use. So the first one's going to be pickpockets.
I think I already got that.
Got that?
I'll write it down. Pickpocket.
Okay. And I'll let you know what those are. I mean, I know you've got, I see your stats here finally, so I know what I'm working with. So you got pickpockets, you got open locks.
Okay.
Okay. You got find and remove traps.
Find and remove traps.
Mm-hmm. Move silently.
Okay.
You got hide and shadow.
All right.
Okay, you got hear noise, Now that's a passive check that everybody gets, but you as a rogue get a special bonus for that. But you also that's a special ability for you.
Okay.
Okay. Now and then you have climb walls.
Is the skill stab old ladies in there?
Murder old women.
Right from there.
And then the last but not least, you have read language on there. That's a pretty low percentage for where you're at, but you do have that ability, so we'll throw that on as well.
All right.
All right, so that's what you've got so far. I want to look at what you've got going here for your character real quickly. So you have leather armor, that's good, and that would put you at. See, the armor classes in 5th go by the D20 thing. So armor class, let's see, armor class
14.
leather would be 14. I'm just trying to see what it would be. It's really the inverse in like 14 is like what they would need to like hit you, right?
Okay.
Whereas like armor class in the old school way,
No Thaco.
you would be, I believe you'd be like 5 or 6 right there. So that would make sense. So leather armor will be armor class 6. So therefore flip that and then it's 14. Okay, so cool. Let's see. So you're in leather armor, good. I hate to do this to you guys, but I need to particularly for the campaign we're going to do, we need to figure out how much each of you weigh.
I already put mine in.
Okay,
Plus 49.
Yeah, I think I have mine in there.
49 pounds.
49 pounds. What the
Right.
fuck?
A buck 49. A buck 49.
Buck 40. Okay.
Grad is 6'2" and he weighs 230.
Okay, so he's the heavy one. So what's Sarah? What would
Yeah,
Sarah?
I'm looking.
He weighs 98 pounds soaking wet.
No. He's more than that. He's 160 pounds, 5'7". So
Cool.
he's
Cool. Okay.
just a little bit taller than Aaron is in real life.
Okay.
Don't say that when I'm drinking.
Okay, I'm looking at Aaron. I'm looking at the rest of your sheet here. So you got leather armor. You said you got a silver rose dagger. Is that what that says?
Yeah, I've just been accumulating all this stuff from thieving and looting.
Okay.
Silver Rose dagger, I believe Drew gave us.
Okay. And you have 10 feet of what is that?
Hemp rope.
Hemp rope. So yeah, 10 feet of rope. Okay, we're gonna increase that rope to let's see what you're gonna have 20 feet of rope.
20 feet of
Increase
rope.
that to rope to 20.
Oh, it says. I'm sorry. Here it says 50 feet hemp rope.
Okay, that's a
lot. You want me to go down to
that's a lot.
20?
Go back to 20. You only really need. I mean, realistically, you only need 20. Although I know whatever. If you want to keep 50, that's fine. I'm just gonna say a lot of stuff. I hate to like be like particular about this, but sometimes like weight makes a difference. Height will make a difference in things. Right. Like what you're wearing will make a difference. Particularly like if you end up in water. You know, if you're in plate mail, that's different than if you're in like leather. Armor. So you have that. Let's see, what else do you have?
If we get into a problem and I need 21 feet of rope and we all die, I'll be very upset.
Just jump.
Okay, what's this next one down here? It says ring of what?
Ring of Neroti. Nerro.
Okay, so
neurotic. Sorry, ring of neurotic.
Neuroses. Okay, so that makes you neurotic.
Don't tell me. Drew gave it to me. I didn't. Anything written down, I've gained that campaign. The rest of it's all.
Ring of neurotic resistance. Is that what you said, Drew?
Probably no. It's necrotic. It's necrotic resistance.
Okay.
Neurotic. Jesus Christ.
Okay, I like that. No, we're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep that. Yeah, you can keep the ring of necrotic resistance.
Ring of neurotic resistance.
Okay, the next one is potion of super healing. Okay, so that's going to translate to extra healing, the same thing. And then and you have a potion of domination too. Is that what the other one is?
Yep.
Okay, so we got that, and then you have oil of slipperiness. So you have KY jelly.
Pretty much, yeah. He uses that for the nap and fap.
Okay, and so are those the only weapons you have on this thing?
I have a dagger, a short bow, and a rapier. Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now I'm looking at the second one here. So a dagger, a short bow, and a rapier. Okay. And
I would
see.
draw those into my character there, but I wanted people to focus more on the money bag. I didn't want it to be too complicated of a portrait.
Okay, so you're mostly dagger stuff. Let's see. So you have a ranged weapon. That's good. Let's give you. Okay, so let's write this down. I'm going to give you a few other things to go with your character there.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to give you a. Let's see. You are at 6. So let's see. We'll put you at 3. So I'm going to get. Okay, so let's give you. You're going to have Boots of Elven Kind. Gift from Silric. You have Boots of Elven Kind.
From Silveric. Oh, good old Silveric.
There you go. Yeah. Those are your awards for last time. Okay. And okay, so that'll be one. So you've got necrotic resistance. That's good. You're at armor class 14. Okay, is that because you got a high dex
leather armor? Oh.
Yeah, leather armor, and then you've got the high dexterity right there. So that boosts you. Okay. And okay, so what Boots of Elven Kind does is it allows you to move more silently.
All right.
And also it makes you almost well, you're human, but if you were an elf, you would be almost untrackable. Like
right.
It doesn't leave any footprints or anything like that. It works pretty well for you though, too. So you're still figuring them out. Okay. Let's also, I'm going to give you some mundane items here too. So the mundane items are this. You already have the rope, so we got that one taken care of. You have a pouch belt, and a belt.
Pouch?
Pouch.
Crotch belt?
Pouch belt.
Pouch belt.
Pouch.
Crotch.
That goes next. That goes next to your crotch belt.
Conch
there.
belt. Yeah. So okay, you have pouch belt. You have tinder. You have a tinder box, which is so you can start fires.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you already have oil of slipperiness, but I'm going to give you 2 flasks of regular oil.
Okay.
Okay. You have. What did you say you had for? Look at this. The other side of that is you have a ranged weapon, which is a short bow. So you will need. Let's give you 20 arrows with that. So when you do missile weapons, you got to track shots. So, so 20 arrows. You already have the rope. You have 4 spikes.
Pinions or spikes?
Spikes.
Okay, 4 spikes.
Okay. You have a water skin. And you have thieves' tool.
All right.
That's so you can pick locks and
yeah, no, I got it here on the old version there. Yeah,
okay.
20 arrows and a quiver.
Okay.
Belt pouch, all that. Yeah, it's there.
Oh, cool. All right, that's gonna be your starting setup right there.
All right. Should I get rid of all the other stuff on the old?
That's just for now. Yeah. I mean, you can still hang on to the magic stuff like the rings and all that other good stuff for now. If you want to sell that or you want to cash that in, let me know. I think I'm looking at it right here. If you want to
I got a disguise kit, forgery kit, mark cards, 1,000 ball bearings, spirit water, snake figurine, backpack, 10 pinions.
Aaron's got 1,000 balls.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say you don't have those things, but for like this campaign, you probably won't need most of those. So if there's something you really got to have, that's fine, but it's probably just going to be dead weight.
All right.
So something to consider. All right. So that is you. Let's see. Grot.
I have no magic except for a hat of stone giant strength, which I forgot to put on the character sheet. But that's pretty much it. And then all my equipment is right there, pretty easy.
Okay. All right. And then one last thing, Sled. Your alignment is what?
Chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral. Okay, good. And okay, so Grot, you are at 21 strength.
Correct.
That's okay. We'll leave that alone for now. I don't think that's unrealistic. So.
For half work, no, not really.
Technically, you're not allowed any more than 19 strength in, unless there's some way that you're magically doing that, which I think you are, right? Because
the stone giant hat. Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. All right, your dexterity is 15, so that gives you +2. Constitution is 19, probably because you get +1 because you were half orc, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I wanted to bump strength and constitution.
That's fine. Intelligence is 10. That's about right. Charisma is good. Okay, here's the other thing is for charisma. This is how charisma works in the old edition is, and particularly for half orcs. If you have a minus on charisma to your like your ability scores, that minus is only for anyone who's not of your particular race. So if you're dealing with another half orc, your charisma is not impinged by the minuses.
Forgot about that.
For a half orc, then your charisma is what it is. If you're dealing with anybody else, it's -1.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's usually only, and since you and this is going to be important for you as well, Rob. If you're dealing with another tiefling, your charisma is what it is with another tiefling. But if it's with like a human or anybody else who distrusts you, which a lot of people will, or a lot of other races will, then you suffer the penalties for those, but not for your own race. So,
that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Where did Rob go? Are we talking to Rob?
He'll
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Oh,
He'll
He'll be
watch.
all right.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's one of those racial modifiers that's a Gary Gygax rule right there.
I like it.
Yeah, and charisma is a lot more than just like how good you look. It's how commanding you are and like how alpha you are and whatever else, right? So, all right. The other thing, Aaron, your languages. You speak. What do you speak right now? Because this is going to be really.
I have Elven in addition to
Elven and Common,
yeah.
Right? That's what you got. Okay,
Elven and Common. Yep.
Okay, you also have one more. Well, first of all, you have the read language ability, which is you may be able, like your read language is about 20%. So you have a chance to read other languages, including magical languages. The other thing is you also know Thieves Can't, okay, which is a special language that
I have that. Yeah.
So you have that on there. Okay. So keep that in mind because that's going to be something that's going to be important. Rob, I was telling Vince here just a minute ago is when it comes to charisma, particularly for you and Grot, because you're non-humans. For Grot, he has a -1, of course, to his charisma, but that's only for races that aren't half orc or orc. Okay?
Right.
And goes for you as well. So, yeah. So you might be like your charisma might be docked for like what -1 or -2 with like anybody else, but if it's with a tiefling, it is what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So that's, and I don't know how important that is to you, but it might make a difference.
Fair enough.
Like especially in like diplomacy checks or in like if you're intimidation checks and things like that. So, so that's that. I have, let's see, Grot, I have you as armor class 16.
Correct.
What are you wearing?
Chainmail.
Chainmail. Okay.
Yeah.
Now is that just mundane chainmail?
Yeah, it's pretty much piecemeal. He found it here and there. Yeah, it's basic. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a great sword and you have a war hammer. That's what I'm looking at right now. And
correct. And the warhammer he likes to throw. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a one-handed weapon, whereas a great sword is a two-handed weapon.
Correct.
Okay. All right. You have a backpack, bedroll, chainmail, mess kit, rations, rope, tinderbox, torch. Oh, that's another thing. We're gonna have to light for you guys is going to be a big deal because most of you guys are humans.
Yeah, I could see, but I still figured a torch would be good.
Well, remember that torchlight or lamplight or whatever ruins infravision. So, and infravision is based on heat. Ultravision is based on like you can see pretty much anything. Infravision is heat based. So if you're in like complete darkness, you can see. It's almost like the Predator, like when the Predator is like looking at different heat signatures. That's kind of what infravision. That's the way I see it. Is like that.
So would you consider dark vision to be infravision or like ultravision? How would you?
Ultravision is like you can see in all spectrum of light.
Right.
So and then dark vision is I think that's more of a drow thing.
Well, it's drow and it's a tiefling thing too. And that's, I know that at least according to the 5th edition, it's the ability to see in complete darkness up to 60 feet, or
like a low light kind of thing.
Yeah. But I don't know. You're obviously the dungeon master, but from what I read, it to me, at least it seems like it wasn't impacted necessarily by heat or anything like what you're mentioning right now.
I'm pretty sure dark vision allows you to pretty much see in total darkness.
Okay.
And I think that the reason I think it's supernatural. I think it's supernatural rather than like biological or whatever.
Correct.
Whereas like ultravision and infravision will be biological, like it's a racial trait. So okay, so that's good. I'll have to look that up. I'm not really as familiar with. I think dark vision is something that's like a 4th or a 5th edition rule.
It is, yeah. That's what I have. 60 feet dark vision.
Okay.
Same here.
All right, so let me look at Grot one more time here. So you're more like the fighter archetype for. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to ask you. What's the fighter archetype that you're going to use? You're at 6 levels, so a lot of that I don't see on your sheet.
It's under other traits and the actions. The action surge, the grappler. I have the grappler feat, the great weapon fighting style. I have relentless endurance and savage attacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking this up real quick.
I forget what it's whatever. There's like sort of a defensive one, and there's a offensive one. I took the offensive one for the fighter style. It just seemed to make sense for a half orc who really battle over everything.
I'm sorry, the martial archetypes is what I was looking for. Like the fighting styles is one thing. So you're the defensive one, or you're at the great weapon fighting one?
The great weapon.
Okay, so your great weapon fighting style.
Great weapon fighting style.
And I believe you get to take. Let's see.
I get 2 attacks.
And
then when I roll a 1 or a 2 on a damage die for an attack, for any melee weapon, when I'm wielding with 2 hands, I can re-roll the die, but I must use the new roll, even if it's a 1 or a 2.
Got it.
I get the relentless endurance if I drop to 1 hit point instead of being reduced to 0, so I can still be up and about. And then on critical hit, I add an additional damage dice roll. So if I roll a 20, I roll the dice plus an extra weapon, 1d8, 1d6, or whatever.
While I have this in my head, Aaron, your character also has luck. So luck, yes. So when we get started, I'm gonna have you roll a d4. That's going to be your luck points. Okay, and this is unique to like rogue/thief characters. So you're gonna have luck. You're gonna have luck points. Just put 1d4 right now. And what's gonna happen is like when we go into every session we go into, I'm gonna have you roll it once. That's the number of luck points you have, and those luck points will allow you to like either modify a roll. So if you want to subtract or you want to add to a particular roll, you can delete. You can use one of those.
My 1d4, whatever I get.
Or for every one of your luck points, you can re-roll something, but you got to stick with the re-roll.
All right.
So sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So just you keep that in mind. You're going to have luck points as well. Let's see. For you have to have Grot. You also have to take a martial archetype. Are you the champion archetype or the battlemaster archetype?
That's a good question.
You want to look at you can get back to me on that if you want to go and look.
Yeah, let me go take a quick look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, because in 5th edition, that's a thing, and it'll give you a lot of cool things. Also,
all right, cool. Let me I had the handbook right here.
And let's see. So I'll let you. Yeah, you go ahead and look at those and tell me what you want to do. In the meantime, while you're reading that, I'll give you your provisioning stuff here in just a minute. But let's go to Drew. I'm going to come to you last. Sorry, because you're going to be the longest. So Rob, let's go to your tiefling.
Okay.
And let's see. Sarah is a tiefling. You are level 5. Yes.
I'm the martial. Oh, real quick, Rollo. I'm the martial archetype.
You're going to take martial archetype? Okay.
Yeah, that's where I got the improved critical. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go with that. All right. So as a tiefling, you are strength 11, dexterity is 11, constitution is 15, intelligence is 11, and your charisma is 17. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, considering a lot of his abilities and whatnot come down to his charisma.
Okay. And you are a sorcerer, warlock, a warlock. Okay, so not a sorcerer, but a warlock.
Yeah, he's an actual warlock.
Okay, got it. So what that means is that you have, let's say, you're chaotic neutral. If that's the case, then you would have to have a patron of some sort.
And he does.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's kind of up to you, obviously, as the DM, as far as that goes. But yes, he does have a patron.
Okay. Do you want it to be a bad one or a neutral one or a good? Because you're chaotic neutral. So
I'm kind of thinking more along the lines of like probably like neutral evil, someone that maybe is kind of he's neutral, but he's kind of like, hey, it's okay if you do some bad shit.
I will come up with some options for you for this. It's not going to be that big a deal during the campaign, but it might. Like when I do stuff for like clerics or like in your case, really a warlock too, because you have a divine patron of some sorts, alignment makes a big deal, or like what you do makes a big deal to whatever your sort of patron is. The same thing will go for Drew as well, obviously. So let's see. So you have a dagger and a light crossbow. Your armor class is 11. What are you wearing? Or are you
light armor, basically, like leather armor.
Leather armor? Okay.
Leather chaps.
Leather chaps. Assless leather chaps.
There you go.
Tail. You got to
Well, it kind of has to be, considering he's got a tail.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, because you're gonna be your character's gonna be a thorn in the side, but also a big advantage in some parts of what we're gonna go through, because people are not going to want to see you, but then the people who do see you will probably want to work with you.
Nice.
So okay, I'm looking at your rest of your stuff here. I will go through the war. I thought you were a sorcerer, so I kept looking at the sorcerer stuff.
No, he's an actual warlock.
Okay, got it. All right, so we'll work with that. So I'm going to need you to pull spells, which I think you already have here. Do you want to go with the ones that I have on the PDF right now?
I'll go with the ones that I've already got there. At least in the last campaign, they served me well, and he's a little more of a. I've always envisioned him as like a little more on the offense side than the defense side.
Okay.
So with what he's got, I'm good with what he's got.
Okay. Okay. The other thing that I don't think TJ realized is that Rangers in 5th edition are spellcasters as well. So
I don't think
Rangers get kind of druidic spells in 5th, and I think that really fits what we're doing. So I'm going to let that go. But he's going to be limited by the spells that he knows per the spell slots that he has available to him, and I believe he's 6th level. At 6th level, he has 4 at 1st and 2 at 2nd. But he can only know like a total of 4 spells. So how he decides to divvy those up is kind of going to be up to him. So I'll work with him later on about that. Nice. And then for Drew, your spells are something that you're like praying for, and that your patron is actually like bestowing upon you. So you still have to prep them, and you have access to pretty much all of them, but you have to prep the ones that you want to use for that particular campaign.
Yeah, which is one of the advantages of a cleric. Well, kind of cleric versus a wizard or some of the others, they have to learn the spell, and then they only have access to those. I've got complete access, but it has to be prepped after long.
Yeah, you got to have it in your prayer memory or whatever. Yeah. Okay, that works for me. Now, so Rob, I'm gonna provision your guy right now.
Okay.
And we're gonna give you some things to work with. So your weaponry right now is a light crossbow and a dagger. Okay, because you can use crossbows in this one. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll keep the crossbow. We're just gonna have to give you we're gonna have to see how many bolts you have to use, or do you have it already listed? I'm not.
Let me see if it shows.
Okay, I'm just looking at range right now. That's okay. I'll give you the bolts for it. So. Here's what we're going to give you. You are at armor class 11 right now. So I'm going to give you bracers of defense, which will push you up. Let's see, that will put you at least 2. So you'll be at armor class 13 with bracers of defense.
Okay.
And that's just like sort of armbands that are magical kind of things. Okay. All right. So you have that. I'm also going to give you a wand of fire.
Wand of fire.
That sort of fits your thing. There, one thing about old school D&D is you have to figure out how things work and how many charges something has. But since I'm giving you this from the beginning, you would already know this. So you know that the wand of fire has 4 charges.
Okay.
So that's you. Those are 2 of your magic items. You also have a pouch belt.
Okay.
Okay. You also have 2 oil flasks, which could come in handy because you have all the fiery stuff. You have all the material spell components that you need. Okay. So when it comes to like material stuff, I use that's in old school D&D, that was a big deal. Like you had to go find all this stuff. That could be an adventure in itself, but it became real annoying if you were just trying to do like a one-off or like a dungeon crawl or something like that. You also have 3 candles.
Okay.
That might come in handy for something. You have 2 torches. Okay, and you have one tinder box. Not that you need it, but you have 1 tinder box.
Okay.
As a warlock, you also have the ability to read magical languages.
I think he actually already has that.
Okay.
Because I know when I was creating him, there was a few things. There was an Eldritch invocation, which I believe, according to the 5th edition anyway, there was a couple of different things that kind of came with him based on his being a warlock, his patron, all that kind of stuff, his race. And one of them was Eye of the Rune Keeper was what it was. It's like on page 110, 111.
Okay.
And that was the ability to read like pretty much anything.
Okay.
If he saw it, he could read it. He could decipher it. So I don't know if that falls into what you're talking about or not.
Okay. That's fine. Well, we'll keep that on there. That would be helpful to you. What I was going to say is like, so when it comes to reading things, particularly like magical languages, or if it is a particular, like for instance, like I don't know how well that would work if you were like trying to decipher like thieves' cant. It's like if it's a written language, that's one thing. Like, but like and Aaron, you might want to remember this is like thieves' cant is not a written language so much as it is like hand gestures and like sub communication.
Code words, like, right? Baseball manager.
Do you understand the words I'm speaking to you? So that's so if it's a magical language or something like that, then I would say certainly you'd be able to read that. The other thing is for any magic user above like a certain level, depending on the class and everything, there is a possibility that you know if something is magical in nature or it's not, or you get like you can catch a hint of you have a hunch. Let's just say that something could be magical or not. Doesn't mean you can identify what it is, but you can figure it out at a given time. But you are sensitive to like things that are enchanted. Let's just say. Okay, so we have that, and you have your spells already taken, and we have, what did you say you were? You were like, your weight and your height?
Height is 5'7", and weight is 160 pounds.
Okay, good enough. And you are a tiefling, so you have all the tiefling stuff that goes on.
Yeah, the horns, red skin, gold eyes, black hair.
Okay, Infernal Legacy, got it.
Yes.
So you have the cantrip already. You can cast Darkness, cast Hellish, Rebuke. Okay, got it. All right. I think that's good for you.
Okay.
Now, my other advice to you in particular is that non-humans in Gygaxian D&D are very exceptionally rare.
Okay.
So, needless to say, a tiefling in such a world is exceptionally rare. So, and like I said, I don't have a problem with you being in it because of what the nature of the campaign is it'll work really well with that. But understand that keeping yourself like sort of covered and concealed, and
I've kind of I rolled him up that way with like with a disguise kit, and also I want to say it was one of his abilities, and I'm trying to find where the hell it is. Mm-hmm. And it might have even been a spell.
You know what? Let's also give you a cloak with a hood too.
Okay.
Does your tiefling have like horns?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so yeah, you need a hood.
Okay.
So we'll keep that around.
Well, and I know he has there's another, I guess, kind of racial trait or something. Maybe it comes from his patron, but it's called Mask of Many Faces.
Mm-hmm.
And that, from what I remember reading about it, is kind of like an innate ability, or you can kind of do it at will, where the average person, unless it's on like, I guess, real close inspection, they would assume he was more like human or something else versus being tiefling.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he has the ability to kind of disguise himself.
Kind of polymorph almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Rob, I have a quick question. Are your horns back swept or forward swept?
Forward and down.
Okay.
All right. And you know what, Grot, I need to come back to you really quickly here because I need to give you your provisioning stuff here.
Okay.
You just yet. You have backpack. You've got a bedroll, a chainmail, mess kits, rations, rope. That's good. You got 10 torches, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have torches. We'll keep those torches. I think that'll work. And the water skin works for you as well. And you have a great sword, which is non-magical.
Correct.
And you have a warhammer, which is non-magical.
Correct.
Let's make that warhammer +1. Let's make that. You gotta have at least one magical weapon in this, so we're gonna make that warhammer a +1 warhammer.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
So it just has a maybe. We'll say Sarah enchanted it for you somehow.
There you go.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
All right. And then, so the other things that you have as well, and since you're the guy who can carry all this crap, you have, we already say you have a backpack, so that's good. Let's put that in there. Query. You don't have any missile weapons, so that's okay.
Just a warhammer that I can throw, yeah.
Okay, we're going to give you 20 feet of rope as well.
20 feet.
Because I know you have rope here, but let's make that 20 feet.
Okay.
And
not 21?
Not 21, because 21 would be stupid.
That's right.
Okay. Let's give you what else do we give you? Probably pretty good for you. And you have the ogre strength helmet.
Stone giant strength. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe some spikes.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Let's give you some iron spikes. You have
iron spikes.
Six iron spikes.
6. All right.
And so you already have a backpack, so we don't need to give you a belt patch. See what else. When you have the torches. Okay, that's good. I think that'll do for you right now.
Okay, warhammer +1, the 20 feet of rope, and the iron spikes set of 6. Cool. Perfect. Thank you.
One of the good things about sort of Gygaxian DD is like you'll pick up things along the way.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, so don't think that. Oh my, I don't know.
No, I like that, finding stuff and being rewarded. Shit's great. Yeah.
All right.
And hey, Rollo, real quick, that mask of many faces that I mentioned. It's on page 111 in case you want to reference it on the 5th edition.
5th edition handbook?
Pardon me.
Yeah, and it's you can cast disguise self at will without expending a spell slot.
Okay.
That's the definition of it.
Okay.
So
I will look at that. Okay, now Drew, here's your chance. I'm looking at your character, which is a cleric, and you're calling him Grey Vargerson. Right?
Yes.
Vargerson. Okay. All right. So I don't have any stat. I've got 10 strength, 10 dexterity. Correct?
Not good. Yeah.
We'll find a way to we'll boost you up a little bit. And you created it at what level are we?
Well, I started at 5, but I think you said it'd be around 5 or 6, and I have 33 hit points. I'm thinking, squishy character. I'd bump him up a little bit, make.
Let me.
So I could drop back down, whichever.
No, let's actually. I'm gonna boost you a little bit here too. So let me look at what I can do for you here. And so you've chosen the life domain as your area of interest.
Okay. Neutral, good, but mostly focused on healing and buffing the party.
So you're a helper. Okay, your languages are Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, and Goblin, correct? Yeah. Okay. And let's see. You have chainmail, you have clothes, you have incense, you have pouch, you have shields and vestments. Vestments is.
I think I just took the priest. I can't remember if I took the explorer's pack or the priest pack for the starting equipment.
All right. I'm gonna give you a few things. I think I'm just gonna provision you right now with this stuff because this is like some basic shit.
You want me to type this down, or are you typing?
Yeah, or write it. Just take a note and type it down later, or do whatever you want to.
I'm gonna email it to myself, so I can type pretty fast. So
okay, all right. So you have a mace. That's good. That'll work for now. We're gonna make that in old school old D&D. A mace is not a mace, so you've got to choose what kind. I'm just gonna say it's a footman's mace, which is just sort of like the one-handed, smite you, smite the sinners. Okay, so you've got that. I'm also going to give you a hammer. Not a war hammer per se, but it's like a Lutheran hammer. Are you familiar with what a Lutheran hammer is?
No.
Okay, well, anyway, so you'll look it up. Do you have a hammer? It basically follows a hammer thing.
can I count that as something that I'm proficient in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So as a good cleric, here's the deal. You're not allowed to use bladed weapons. So you can use like smashing cudgels, clubs, maces, that kind of stuff. You're not allowed to draw. Technically, you're not allowed to draw blood. I know. I had this again. This is old school.
Problem.
You could do it all day long, but
I can smash their face in with a hammer.
yes, you can give them.
My little
Blunt force trauma is okay.
All right. I'm fine with blunt force trauma.
Yeah, so blunt force trauma is okay, but drawing blood, no, I don't think so.
Can I have a pliers?
Pliers? You mean tools? Like what? For
Pulling teeth.
In case we have to ask questions.
implements of torture. Yeah, you're. Is that the archetype you're looking for? Is the Inquisitor?
Yeah, no, let's stick with you. So good. Yeah.
Let me introduce you to the tiefling over here. Okay, here's what I'm going to give you. You've got a backpack.
Yep.
Backpack. You have 1 flask of oil. Okay. You have a silver holy symbol.
Silver holy symbol.
Those are very important in
holy symbols. Now, if we are in your world that you're creating, what deity would best fit somebody that was neutral good, life
human, a neutral good human? Let me get back to you on that. I have there's a lot at this stage. It's not all that important, but what's that?
Are we looking at the actual Norse pantheon, the Aesir and Vanir, or something that's based on?
They're going to be. It'll definitely be sort of a Norse feel to it, but I'm probably not going to use the same names. But I will give you a. Actually, I don't have it right now. Give me 1 second. I can actually dig up the.
For role play, I'll come up with creative things that my character might say, curses or blessings in the name of whoever it is that his god is.
Okay, I will give you a just a little list of gods or goddesses that you can use as sort of patrons, and maybe there's one you want to focus on. If you're in a pantheistic or polytheistic religion, then one's going to be your main, and there might be others that you sort of like petition as well. If you're just like dedicated to one god, then that's a different story. So let me give you the rest of the stuff here. So you got your holy symbol, a silver holy symbol, by the way, a vial of holy water. So you have 1 vial of holy water, because you are a good cleric. You have a hooded lantern.
I'll need that.
Human, and you will need that. You have a tinderbox, of course, to light that wonderful hooded lantern. And you have 10 iron spikes.
Okay.
All right. And you have, these are your magic items for now. You have a potion of clairaudience. I'll tell you what that does here in a second.
So not clairvoyance, clairaudience.
Audience, yes. And you also have a scroll of raise dead.
Okay.
Always useful. Oh, a little side note about scrolls here. If you can read languages such as like Sero, you would have no problem reading if you would like to, but remember your read language is only about 20-25%.
Right.
So
right.
problem is if you read it and you fuck up the whole scroll. So
It'll just be like the
Remember
fourth
in
grade.
a
I couldn't
pinch-
read back then either. So
in a pinch, you might be able to do it. So you might be able, Grot, I would not suggest reading scrolls or attempting to read scrolls.
No, that would be very bad.
That would be bad. So, also, Drew, you can read scrolls as well. You have, let's see, do you have the intelligence to do so? Yeah, you could do it. You're +1. So
My intelligence is a little
not, I mean, you could do it. You could do it.
wisdom.
The best person to read a scroll would probably be Sarah. So
Yeah,
if that's
definitely.
the case. But if it's a clerical spell that's on the scroll, then you can do it no problem.
Okay.
If it's a magic user scroll, if it's a druid scroll, if it's whatever scroll, anything that's not sort of like clerical in nature, probably best to either give it to Sarah or hand it off to Sled if you're really, really desperate. So.
All right.
Okay, so you do have a raised dead scroll that could be very helpful, just so you know. And let's see. Let me explain to you what the potion is. The potion of clairaudience. The way potions work is this. Potions can be taken all at once and you get the full effect for as long as it goes, or you can take it sort of like in sips. And the sips usually, depending on what the potion is, you can take a quarter of it, you can take an eighth of it. Eighth is the minimum. So it's like you take about an eighth of it, eighth whatever, and it lasts for a little while or lasts until the effect is sort of canceled for whatever reason, like if it's invisibility or something like that. That's how it used to work. Like if there's a potion of invisibility, you could take a quick hit of it and then you'd be invisible until you attacked or you like gave yourself away, and then you'd be visible again. And you could take another one and do it, whatever. Same thing goes for like healing. Like if you have a potion of extra healing and you only drink half of it, you're getting half of the effect of it. So bear that in mind. You don't have to like pound down everything like automatically if you find a potion of some sorts.
Okay.
So that's how that works. The other thing is, okay, so for clairaudience is it's a clerical spell. It's not available actually in 5th edition. This is only a 1st edition thing. So what clairaudience allows you to do is once you take the spell, it allows you to focus on an area that you're familiar with or that you like pretty close to being familiar with. And it allows you to hear what is going on in that area. So if you want to say, I want to hear what's going on outside, and you're inside of a dungeon or something like that, and you already passed through that one area, you could do that and listen. Or if you're on one side of a door, this is where it's really useful. If you're on one side of a door and you want to hear what's going on the other side of the door, you can take a shot of the potion or an eighth or whatever of it, and then you can sort of hear it for a quick second or for like whatever the duration of an eighth would be. So that's what clairaudience is. Clairvoyance is seeing whatever's over there. So this is hearing through there.
Okay.
Okay. So
that's
that
a scroll of raised dead.
and a scroll of raised dead. Yes. All right. And let's see. And Grot, you know your languages are Common and Orc, obviously,
Yes.
and nothing else. Just those two.
I believe so. Yeah, he's not the most too. He's moderately intelligent, but those are the two languages he knows. Let me see.
Okay.
Common and Orc. Yes.
Common and
Yep.
Orc. Got
Yep.
it. Perfect. And let's see what else we have here. You know what? I'm going to give you one more thing, Drew. I'm going to give you a scroll of. Let's see. What is it? Let's give you a scroll of cure light wounds.
Cool.
And we're going to give you a scroll of cure disease.
Useful after a trip to the brothel.
Yeah, there you go.
And the ring of neurosis.
Yeah, no.
Cure disease on Sled's ring of neurosis.
Yeah. And let's see, what else do I have here? Guys. Let's also Sarah, I'm gonna get I don't know if I gave you any, I didn't provision you yet, did I?
You gave me some of the basic stuff,
Okay.
like the oil flasks and material.
I didn't give you any goodies yet, though. Did I?
No.
Should I have rope?
Yeah.
Already, because do you want me to do? Is this in addition to the generic stuff that came in the Explorers pack that I have?
Yeah, well, I'm throwing this out there just so you remember like what you have available to you in certain situations.
So I can add this. I'm using a Dungeon Master Vault to set up the whole character thing here, and this allows me to kind of put this stuff together. So,
okay, you are 5'10". You are 165 pounds. You are age 58.
Yes.
All right.
You old bastard.
Since I had those two really shitty rolls, like 8 were the base rolls, I figure, you know what? I want to put my good rolls, because I had the 18 and the 15. I want to put those in wisdom and charisma for the cleric. But I figure, you know what? If the strength and the dexterity are low, maybe he's older and he's starting to slow down a little bit. I mean, not like Joe Biden or anything, but he's getting up to there where he's seeing a lot of stuff, and he's getting physically just kind of beaten up.
Okay.
So doesn't move the way he used to. He's not over the hill yet, but just he needs a little more time getting through the
I got an idea for you. Have I got an idea for you? All
Oh boy.
right, so you have I'm looking at your spells right here, and the ones that you have known. You'll have to before we get started, you'll have to do your spell pulls for these.
Yeah, I got to go through.
Let's see, you've got 4 slots for first, 3 slots for second, 2 slots for third, and you got your cantrips. And
it should be 3 with the 6th level, but at 5th level it was.
Okay, now I see what you do. Okay, I'm sorry, I was looking at the first sheet. This is the next one. So you've got Purify Food and Drink, Sanctuary, Shield of Faith, Silence, Spiritual Weapon, Warding Bond, Zone of Truth. Good. Zone of Truth is very useful. Revivify, Sending, and Speak with Dead, Spirit Guardians, Tongues, Walk and Water. Water Walk. Nice.
I don't remember which ones I picked. I've been playing around with this thing here, so I might.
Those are good, actually. Those are. See, that's the thing is like I think that a lot when it comes to like spell casting, particularly with magic users and clerics, everybody tends to like think that okay, I'm a healer. I just got to like gross out on nothing but like healing spells and everything else. There's so especially in the old school, like it's better to avoid the damage than to actually have to heal the damage. So, let's see. All right, okay. I see the rest of what you got there. I think you're pretty set. I do want to give you you're gonna need armor, so I'm gonna give you armor.
I've got chainmail.
You have chainmail right now. Let me look at this really quick. This is armor class. All right, so clerics in old school D&D could wear plate if they wanted to. If you have chain and you're good with that, that's fine. Are you going to want a shield? Yeah,
probably. I figure the hammer, if I'm using a hammer, the shield, hammer,
and chain.
Chain or plate, either one. I'm not sure what I'd have to see what the difference is on the, let's see. See if it gives me plate. It doesn't give me plate. Do I have proficiency? Let's see. Let's see if I add plate, what happens.
Well, you have a shield already, so we'll keep that on there. But you can add plate if you want to.
Okay. Well, plate that since you know what, I'm going to go with that because right now with the HP that I have, I've got a little bit of offensive capabilities, but not a whole lot. So I'm going to go
with you can wear plate, but you won't be able to wear full plate. You'd only be able to wear like say half plate.
Okay.
Because you only have a strength of 10.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and your constitution is 12. So yeah, you'd be able to wear it, but it'd be pretty heavy on you.
Half plate.
He just has the breastplate.
Yeah, half plate would actually put me below chainmail. Although with the chainmail, would I need to have let me see if it says. Okay, base AC. Okay, you know what? I can't wear chainmail. I need to have a minimum strength of 13. So I actually have to
back off to
chainmail too. let's see what I can't. Well, oh boy. Yeah, I should have checked that first. Let's see. What if I have, let's see, armor, leather. Oh, I'm going to have to be careful. If I go with leather armor and a shield, my AC will be 13.
Okay.
And, at least there's no stealth disadvantage for that.
Right.
So I'm just going to have to be careful, maybe get some defensive spells.
Okay. Well, we'll take care of you. Like I said, you will find stuff along the way. Okay, so that's pretty much you guys. I do need to. I got to do one last thing.
I will add a hammer for myself here and make sure that I add the proficiency to it.
Let me pull something for Sarah. You're going to get. I gave you one to fire. I gave you braces of defense. I know you have those already.
Let's see, warhammer. See.
I love you too, Aaron.
All right. So, Sarah, I'm going to give you one scroll.
Hammer.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a scroll of blindness.
Scroll of blindness. Okay.
All right. That'll be something else, something utility for you to use.
So
Nice.
Warhammer is probably the closest thing, although I don't know if I can use that one-handed.
Scroll of blindness.
The hammer? Yeah, you can use the mace one-handed. And you can use
One-handed, but Warhammer. Should I make that a light hammer instead of the Warhammer? Because I think the war.
technically that would be it. Would be a light hammer.
Okay. So add a light hammer here.
And so, Grot, you are the only one that knows orc.
Correct.
Okay. And Aaron, you know Elvish. That's good. And
Gay.
gay. So okay, so we got that. I think we got pretty much everybody ready to roll here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I like setting zeros.
Yeah, we have to
They're
sort
fun.
of. I want to get some background going for you guys as well too. So because it's going to be important for the rest of this stuff too. So let's just start off a few things here. I want to sort of refresh all of you guys in some.
I've got a question real quick.
Sure.
Since I, as a cleric, old school, would not be able to draw blood, then a crossbow would not be kosher. But what if I had a sling with just bolts instead?
That's fine. You could do a sling with 20 bullets.
There you
All
go.
right.
There
I'll
you go.
swap these out.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. Let's see, light crossbow. Get rid of the crossbow here, and I'll do that.
All right, it's good for notes.
Okay.
All right.
Ah,
There we go.
the fuck? Turn off your phone.
I did
Shut up.
I did a video today. I did my show today, and I covered the Tommy Lahren thing that was going on.
Mhm.
That shit's already, my views are already like 11,000 right now. It's not even
Holy
like,
shit!
Wow.
And you just did the show?
yeah, I just,
Oh fuck! I have to go check
What
that out.
happened with Tom? Wait, she was on your
No,
show,
no,
Rollo, or you did
it was not on my show, but she had put some video out about how like she just hated men and how men could be better for her. And oh man, it was just a gift from God for me. I was like,
God.
yes, please.
Get done.
Give it to. It was like just the same thing with Will Smith. Like when I was talking about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, I was like, oh, this is great, man. I just dropped in my lap a day before my Sunday show, so I'm like, game on. So I did that, and I'm thinking I might get better numbers than the Will Smith video. So, pretty cool. All right, so let's just cover a few things. So if you have questions about anything, you can let me know. When we are in game, if you are talking to one another, I assume you're talking. Okay. If you're thinking about something, you're just kind of like, okay, time out. I'm thinking about stuff. The problem is like you're not going to share the same thoughts as somebody else. You can talk all you want, but make sure that when you say something, or if you're telling me, hey, I'm going to tell Grot this under, keep it down here. that kind of stuff to maintain silence or whatever. Do so that way. There's also and this is common to really all D&D, is what you know and what your character knows are not necessarily the same two things. So you can think, okay, you can solve a riddle. Like you as your person can solve a riddle, but that doesn't mean your intelligence 7 half orc is going to be able to.
Duh. Yeah.
So that's it. Keep that in mind. So if I say, oh, hey, I know exactly what that is because you've heard it somewhere, or it's like the mystery of the Sphinx. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in player knowledge and separate from character knowledge. Yeah,
your character would not know that. So
yeah, exactly.
Keep that in mind.
Makes it better. It makes it better role play. Yeah.
Yeah, I might give you a disadvantage, even though
Rollo, not to interrupt. I have a kind of if that's the way we're going to play. What if your character is smarter than you are in real life, like Rob? Like a character figures it out, but Rob's too stupid. Voice character.
That's the flip side of that. That's flipping the script there. Yeah, in some cases, I will just give it to you because your character would know that. Maybe he can read languages.
See, Rob, he's got you covered. You're doing really well, Rob.
Take the football to the end zone, Jimmy.
Run, Forrest, run.
That's right. Run, Rob, run.
I will adjust for that. The other thing is I told you guys this in the email, and since we have people actually watching this for the first time, I won't actually try to kill your character, but that doesn't necessarily mean the dice won't try to kill your character.
There's always that.
So keep that in mind. If you rush into things, if you don't think about things, sometimes there's consequences for that. Like I said, sometimes the environment will kill you quicker than the actual critters will. So pretty much, unless it looks like some really feral animal, a lot of the more intelligent animals or monsters will probably have something on them. Like they'll have gold pieces or whatever. If you want to loot them, that's fine. But remember that loot equals weight. So if you are wanting to keep your the old joke for old D&D is that you want gems before you want gold pieces because a 500 gold piece gem is weighs not even an ounce, whereas 500 gold pieces weighs a lot of freaking.
I'm not carrying your shit.
Yeah. That's why bag of holding was a thing back then.
Oh, those were just worth their weight in gold.
Yeah. So don't. Keep in mind how heavy you are and there will be parts of this where you're going to have to move through water or whatever. So, or climb or go over areas that maybe weight makes a difference in. So, or height might make a difference to you. Stealth will definitely play a big part in this one. So this is going to be I think Aaron's character is really going to come into his own in this one here because this is going to be a mission for actually all of you guys. So remember that. Remember also that if it's a demi-human, if it's like an orc or a gnoll or an elf or whatever, if it seems like it's an intelligent, even an NPC, whatever, they know what they can do. They're not trying to figure shit out. They know this is a scroll and this is how many charges it has. So, and they'll fight to the best of their ability. Now, that said, you can also test morale on guys too. So if you're a badass and you take out 4 guys on your turn and there's 2 guys left, they're going to shit their pants probably. So there's a morale thing that goes along with this as well. And if you have, let's just say for sake of argument, you're facing 10 guys, you take out 6 of them, 4 of them might break. And sometimes that's worse than actually having them fight you because they'll go get their friends and they'll bring them back. And then you face a bigger force because they shit their pants and ran. So things to remember, particularly for intelligent things. If it's a dumb thing, you probably don't have to worry about it. If you're just fighting an animal. That's another thing. And this will make a difference, I think, for Aldemar, for TJ's character, is that, and I don't know what Spencer plans on playing. It might be something for him, but if you're a druid or if you have say you're a character that has a cleric that has natural influences or something like that, you're a nature and you can, or maybe you have a spell of animal control or speak to animals and stuff like that. There are particular things that are animals and there are particular things that are not animals. So if you wanted to talk to, say, like a griffin and you used animal communication or whatever, that would not work. But if you wanted to talk to a badger, that would probably work. So there's a difference between like sort of natural animals and supernatural animals. Something to consider, because sometimes there are big, gigantic versions of animals that can still be reasoned with. Hold spells and things like that, charm spells, hold spells. Bear in mind, and you guys would know this, and your characters would know this, that there are certain immunities that certain critters have. So, like for instance, like even, and this is even in 5th edition, is that elves are immune to charm and sleep spells. So that you guys would commonly know that. And that's the other part, is that since you guys are 5th and 6th level in this world, the way that I work things out, your characters are like superheroes. And so people will like sing your songs and like make up stories about you. You might have, and in particular, Aaron, and most likely, let's see, Grot would certainly be. Sarah, you would want to keep a low profile, but Grot and Sled, sometimes there's an advantage to having a reputation, and sometimes there's a disadvantage to having a reputation. So
that's true. Yeah.
So keep that in mind. So when people are talking to you, you're like talking to townsfolk, or you're talking to like people from the Thieves Guild and things like that. If they know you, that's great. It's be careful saying, do you know who I am? That kind of stuff. So
don't be Karen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Karen Clary.
Yeah. Don't you know who I am? No, I can see you guys doing that too. Also, alcohol. Alcohol might give you a strength and a constitution bonus, but it's not going to help your intelligence and your wisdom. Keep those in mind. Actual game effects in fact, it's in the Dungeon Master's Guide for the 1st edition. The effect of alcohol. So when you go, I'm going to toss back up in the movie. This is funny and funnier than hell. I've been watching. Have you guys ever watched that series called Longmire?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's really good. It's over now, but it's been going on for like 6 seasons. But
Rollo, I lived in the town where the author of that resided.
Craig Johnson. Yeah, he's really good. He's a fantastic writer too. In every damn episode, there's like somebody's like throwing back a tumbler of bourbon.
Nice.
Down like two cases of like of beer cans and stuff, and they just walk away and go back and do that. Nobody's hungover. Nobody's. It was like they're like seriously throwing back like all this serious alcohol.
They have a high tolerance,
and they're like, "Hey,
like Archer."
Yeah, exactly. It's like, can you go run these, this very highly complex computer model for CSI and get those prints for me? Yeah, as soon as I sober up from these or bourbon. But so, anyways, that's not how it works in game. So remember that there are effects, and sometimes maybe if you throw back like for dwarves would have a higher tolerance. Elves actually have a very high tolerance to alcohol in this game. Yeah. Everybody else, since most of you guys are human, except for I don't know how tieflings would take it, but we'll see.
How about a half orc? What would he?
A half orc would be more. You'd have a little bit more tolerance, I think, but humans have human tolerance, right? So, So remember that. Remember height and remember distance down, like falls. Falls will
every 10 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, and every 10 feet will do damage.
1d6.
So Aaron, when you have decided to like climb walls, remember height. Okay, you're the only one who can actually has the skill to climb walls.
Very good at rolling ones when I try to climb walls.
Okay, so there's that. Again, let me reiterate. All monsters will fight to the best of their abilities. That doesn't mean they won't bug out, but they will. And then if you are fighting like say higher level monsters that collectively you guys outrank, but individually you don't. Remember to be like coordinate your attacks, put buffs on each other, that kind of stuff. I don't want to say I don't run a campaign that is like a video game, but I will say this is that like synergy. There's meant to be synergies between all of the classes, and that's still true today, and even in Pathfinder and pretty much any role playing game. So teamwork usually pays off. And that's not to say that there aren't going to be times, and Aaron, there's not going to be times for the occasional fuck your neighbor. So
that's Aaron. That's Aaron. That's Aaron's motto and creed.
Subplots, though. So you'll end up getting oh my God. There was one time I was playing D&D with my daughter and like one of her best friends, and it was like sort of like who's going to sell who out, and they never had to like they're like 13, 14 years old.
That's pretty funny.
Are we going to cooperate or not? I don't know. That's your dilemma. So and then also remember what your alignment is. So most of you guys are, with the exception of Drew, you guys are chaotic neutral.
So all of us are.
All of you guys are, with the exception of Drew. Drew's neutral good. I don't know what Spencer's going to choose just yet, but you guys are pretty much out for yourselves. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a team element. Like you guys are going to back each other up, but you all have a common goal. But you're pretty much, you're not good, you're not evil, you're not lawful. You're more or less just chaotic and out for yourselves, kind of thing. At the end of the day,
we're Aaron Clary in real life.
Yeah. Hey, you homos! You guys are starting pretty early.
All right, so I'm gonna. I don't want to get too deep into backgrounds just yet because I still want to get Spencer in here. So, what I'm gonna do is I'll give you a little bit of background so we can sort of get started when we come back to it the next time. We'll get into it in full the next time. Right now, you guys are in a city, and I use the term loosely. It's called Dunwater. And Dunwater is it's a coastal city right now. I'll let Drew fill you in as to how you get there because I don't know what the end of the adventure from the last one was all about. But as it stands right now, you guys are in Dunwater, and you move there. Like all three of you guys, Saro and Grot and Sled, have moved to Dunwater because there's work there. There's money there, and the money in the sense of you've been strong arming people who owe your Thieves Guild, which is just known as the Guild. So you're kind of like enforcers right now. You go out and do a job and sort of punk people for money or do what the Guild gives you. So the Guild tends to give you right now, because you have Grot with you, sort of strong arm work right now. And so while you're there, Aldemar is away. Aldemar is also kind of part of your team. Like you guys kind of work together to do jobs for pretty much the Thieves Guild. Do you have a question, Drew?
I was going to say, since my character is neutral good, but I'm also a cleric, just throw out a suggestion. Maybe I'm just the old guy at the temple that they come to for healing.
Oh, you're not at a temple. You're at what's called a rectory right now.
Okay.
So you're in the rectory right now.
Which one?
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Yes, you're in the rectory. You're in the rectory right now. The rectory, you're at the there's local government, by the way, and that's good. I'm glad you brought that up, Drew. There is local government in Dunwater, but Dunwater and the area that you're in, the largest city is to your south right now, and that's called Specularum, and that's like a really big city, and you guys kind of stay away from that because
you have the rectory, and then there's Specularum is
the big city. I'm going by Greyhawk regions right now, so you're in Dunwater right now, and you are an advisor to the local Viscount right now. Okay, so all of these areas, there's a loose, governmentally speaking, these areas that are all along the coast right now, they're loosely ruled by noble houses. They're moneyed landowners, basically, is what they are, but they fight amongst themselves a lot. And so the Viscount that you are in service, you're an advisor to the Viscount right now because you're 58 years old. So you're an older guy, and he looks to you for wisdom. And right now, Drew, the Viscount, and I haven't really come up with, I'll have a name for him by the time we come back the next time. But the Viscount he's been very troubled by bands of raiders that are coming down from the north to the coastal towns along the way. All of these like I said, these loose territories, and it's almost like feudal landowners right now. And so they're very dependent on a few things. Lots of course, agriculture is a big deal for them. And so between the government there and the guild, which is really almost like a mafia kind of thing, the government, the local government of Dunwater, is not technically aligned with the guild, but they use the guild as sort of like a military arm or like an enforcement arm. And so the guild will do things for the Viscount when needed. And the most pressing issue for the Viscount, as well as all of the other territories that are surrounding him, like there's a lot of infighting between those territories. The biggest thing that's going on right now is, like I said, these raiders. So there's they call them pirates, but really what they are is slavers. So what they're doing is they're coming down from somewhere up north. They don't know exactly where it is right now, but they're looking for like a base or some sort of base of operations for these guys, because what they do is they come down and they go into the agricultural areas and they end up taking slaves. And so they'll go and kidnap and basically enslave the local populations, take them away, put them on these boats, and go sail back up north. And so that's becoming a bit like, at first the local governments of these territories, these feudal territories, have been fighting with each other, and some of them would simply pay off the raiders, like, please don't come, like they're paying like extortion.
Then again,
although they're doing it on their own, they're saying, please don't take our people. Here's some money if you don't do so. Now the bribes and the extortion money is not working. In fact, they're taking them in larger numbers now, as if something has changed. And so right now, more of the other viscounts, or more of the dukes, like the noble houses, are coming into Dunwater to discuss what they're going to do about all of this. And so you're kind of in the middle of this, and it's more like a thing of diplomacy. Now, Aaron and Grot and Saro, you guys are part of the guild right now, and the guild has been giving you just sort of odd jobs right now, and they have been telling you to keep an eye when you are going out to do these jobs, which is usually just beating the crap out of somebody and telling them that they owe so-and-so some money, kind of thing. It's almost like the mafia kind of thing.
Yeah, it's enforcers. I like it.
Yeah, you're enforcers at this stage. And they're, of course, you intimidate because you look like the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And so they think there's something, they think there's a spirit of, so you actually have a reputation as being someone that, like, sort of this dark black spirit that frighten children. They tell their kids to watch out for the man with the horns. And now so Grot is more of the strong arm. He's the muscle of the group, and of course Sled is the brains of the group. So Sled has a little bit more pull with the guild than anybody else, because he is technically Sled was more of a thief, but now it seems like the guild has been grooming you to be more of an assassin.
Cool.
So they're teaching you about poisons. They're teaching you about, like, how to concoct poisons, how to become immune to certain poisons,
Okay.
how to tell if something has been envenomed, and to sort of develop, like I said, resistances and things to poisons. So you don't know, you're not willing to, like, take the chance to see if you're actually resistant to certain poisons yet, but
I'm not a guinea pig. Okay.
You got the idea, right?
Yeah.
And so more and more, the guild, your guild representatives, some of which you know names of, and others you don't, have been sort of grooming you to sort of take jobs where you have to go out and kill certain individuals, because they either talk or they're trying to find out some kind of information from these individuals. So you either have to bring them back, or you have to just simply kill them. And right now they keep talking about one particular individual, and this individual's name is Marquesa. And Marquesa, you have an idea. You've heard the name before. She is somebody of importance to the guild, but you haven't really figured out exactly what she means to the guild at this point. And she has a few helpers, a few, let's just say, henchmen that are a part of the raiding bands that have been coming down the coast recently. So everybody in this area is aware of these raiders that are coming down. Most of these raiders are, by rumors, the rumors that you have been able to figure out, are either human or they are orc. So there are other, and orcs and half orcs, I should say, as well.
Cool.
So every once in a while, you will have a raiding band will come in, and they'll be either pushed back by local militia, or else they're allowed to go and take the slave, because at this point they don't have the kind of force that they need to sort of to repulse them, let's just say.
Cool.
So that's what's been going on right now.
So we're helping out with that, right?
You will be at some point, but right now you guys are just sort of strong. Go ahead, Drew. What?
Getting a sort of a 7 samurai feel from
kind of. But
cool. Like
right now, Sled has been, like I said, groomed to be more of an assassin, and it's to your liking. So, as you know, so the other part of the guild side of this, the guild sort of subplot to this, is that there are other guilds as well, and those guilds are in competition with one another. But those guilds are also in some of those surrounding feudal areas, and so there are certain individuals that it's almost like gang warfare, right? It's like you're in our turf, they're near their turf. And remember, this is not a really affluent area. These territories, some of them are more than others. The ones that are more inland tend to be more affluent because they can resist these raiders that keep coming down from the north. Now, amongst all of this, and when TJ comes back and we work with TJ, I'll let you know where Aldemar is. But Aldemar has been sent by the guild as well as the local government of Dunwater to go north and scout out and try to find out where this base of operations is. So he is sort of like the scout guy that's going out there with actually a group of scouts right now.
I'll let him know.
But he's a ranger, obviously. And so he's trying to track down where these attacks have been originating from. And if so, what can they do about it? Do they need to send military force? Do they need to send the Navy in there or whatever, because they're coming down in boats. The other thing is this. Let's do let's roll a little dice here. Cool. I'm gonna give you guys. Actually, I got some rumors here for you.
Aha! I love the rumor tables.
All right, so this is the fun part here. So rumor table is you're gonna roll based on your wisdom.
Oh fuck!
So whatever you roll dice and add your wisdom modifier to it.
Use the easy roll dice.
I got a 6, but my wisdom modifier is like 7. Hold on a second.
4.
26 total.
Okay.
7.
So yours is Grot, yours is a total of 4. Am I right?
Okay. Wisdom. Oh no, I got my total is 10.
Your total is 10. Grot's total is 4.
4. Yeah.
4. Okay. Sarah?
With wisdom modifier or the wisdom total?
Roll dice and add the wisdom modifier to it.
Okay, so I've got 15.
So 15. And what did you get, Aaron?
I got 7.
7. Okay. Well, I will go with Grot first. Grot, you have noticed that the raiders, there tends to be both like purebred orcs as well as half orcs in these raiders.
Okay.
You also know that the local government, the Viscount, and his very limited military have taken prisoner some of the orcs.
Oh shit! It's taken prisoner some orcs.
Yeah. Remember, these are things that you know. If you wish to share them with everybody, you let me know that you're sharing that information. That's fine.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll do that next.
I probably wouldn't know since they.
You wouldn't know those, but you would also you do know this because you know that you know that the Viscount has indeed taken. I can confirm that rumor for you. So you know that the Viscount has taken at least one and possibly more orc or half orc like raiders coming down, slavers, raiders, pirates, whatever, coming down that are basically taking people Not so much. I mean, obviously they'll take goods as well, and it's not like they're raping and pillaging. Some of them they will destroy the townships and such, but for the most part they're taking people. Okay. And that is mostly humans. Again, like I was saying before, I should have mentioned this when I was discussing the rest. My campaigns are what I call sort of like low to medium magic. So human beings are the most common things in the world. Half orc, yeah, okay. There's going to be half orcs. All right, half orcs orcs are fecund and will breed with pretty much anything. That's from the first player's handbook. So, with the exception of the tiefling here, you guys are pretty much common. An elf is very rare. Dwarves are uncommon, let's say. Halflings are uncommon. All of the standard fantasy races are in, but there's mostly humans, which is pretty much reflective of this party anyway. So for an orc to be captured is sort of a rarity, or it's something that is catching one alive and keeping that one alive and doing whatever they're going to do with it is strange. Also, Drew, here's yours. You know that there is going to be a council or a gathering of the noble houses or the noble territories to come together to discuss what they're going to do about this crisis, about the slavers coming in. So that's coming up very soon. In fact, it will be on the next time we play. That's how soon it will be. But it's there's going to be a council of some sort. Also that because you're close to the Viscount, that not all of them agree on what to do. Some of them think that they should keep paying them. Others say, "Fuck these guys! It's time's up." And there's a lot of guys that are simply want to gather people together to go and see what can be done. They've already, the Viscount that you work for, that you are a visor to, has already sent a group of 4 rangers up to find this base, or to see where they're coming, where these attacks are originating from. Mm-hmm. And that's to the north. You're on the south part of the coast right now, so it's at you think it's at least past the most distant village north from where your territories start. So there, that's out there. You can't really tell anybody that yet, but these guys already know that Aldemar has been gone, and he left with a group. So you all would already know that as a fact. So you also know this is that some of the noble houses have family members taken.
Hold on, you were breaking up there for a second. Can you repeat just that last part?
Okay, the last part of that is that that's not the Viscount himself, but some of the other the noble houses have had family members taken hostage and held for ransom by these raiders. And the other thing you also have found out is that the reason why everybody is getting together is because you have some suspicion, and they have some suspicion, that the raids have become more organized. And you don't know what the reason is for that organization, but they used to seem like sort of chaotic and random, and now they are like clockwork, like they're coordinated. So that's why everybody's getting together soon to talk about this, to see what to do. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. So the other part is this for Sarah and Sarah. What did you roll? I'm sorry, I want to see who was first in line.
I had 15.
15, and Aaron, what'd you get? You're at 7, right? Sorry, unmute your mic.
Sorry, 7.
Okay, so Sarah, you would know this also from the Thieves Guild, the guild that you're working for. You're there again as intimidation. They like you around, but they're still like, even the guys that are in the guild are kind of sketchy around you because they don't know where your powers come from. Magic is very rare, so if you have magic powers, like people will hunt you down and kill you, and not only because like you look the way you do, but because you use magic. Clerical magic, priestly magic is way more accepted than than any other kind of like magic, like wizards and shit like that. So.
Basically, I'm a devil worshiper.
Yeah, right? Exactly. You're afraid. Actually, I shouldn't say that. They are afraid that you are part of a cult that is trying to insinuate itself in, for the most part. In fact, the only place that you have been accepted has been in the Thieves Guild that Grat and Sled are already a part of.
Okay.
So you are privy to the same knowledge that I'm going to tell Sled here in just a second. So Sled already knows that the Thieves Guild is looking for several individuals, but they're also looking for one individual who you believe is an elf, a female elf called Marquesa. You don't know why they want her dead just yet, but you keep hearing that name over and over again. You also know that there are some other individuals that she is working with, and there's a possibility that they may be working with the piracy that's going on right now, or the slavers that are working right now, slave lords. So you have some suspicions about this because you're still a smart guy, but you haven't really sort of pieced the whole mystery together just yet. But you have a feeling they're going to ask you to kill somebody very soon.
Okay.
To take somebody out, both of you guys actually.
And I'm going to let the others know this as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then last but not least, Sled, you've got an idea that they want you to kill this Marquesa person. Mm-hmm. You're not exactly sure why just yet. You have a feeling that she is part of a rival guild from another area. All right. You have heard the name before. And again, you have because the name is Marquesa, you're not sure if she is actually an elf or she's maybe a half elf or maybe human. You don't know just yet. But you do know a few other things about some of the stuff that is going on in other territories by way of the guild. And you have access to information that the Viscount and the local government doesn't have, because they've sort of like the Thieves Guild has brought you into, I'll say the inner circle, but they have a little bit more trust in you these days. And you're not sure if that trust is something that you've earned or if it is something that they're just sort of like stroking you with so that you'll go do the job. So right. You're kind of like, you don't know if you're getting played, but you might not be, but you might be. You're not really sure. So there is that. There's also, you've heard word of another thief that is a guy who has sort of broke out of your guild and has took off north, that they think towards another for another guild, and they're going to send you after this one other thief that has also gone north, and to either bring him back or to kill him or to get something from him.
Okay.
I'm not exactly 100% sure what it is. You don't have a name yet. I'll give you the name on the next session. But there is another thief who was a part of the guild that sort of betrayed the guild and is now fled north. You think to another guild that is in one of these other territories. So that might be your first mark. So something to keep in mind.
Okay, got the note here.
So we got that. The other thing is that as far as TJ is concerned and Aldemar is concerned, he has gone upstate. He has gone up north. You haven't heard from him in a while. He has been sort of keeping to himself for a while. He has been part of sort of a cleansing ritual, but he's been part of a druidic circle for a while.
Aldemar.
Okay. And the rangers of this area are very tight with the druid circles that are kind of exist in the wilds. They're not really part of the whole governmental side of things. So. All right. So I think that's going to do it for us today. Is there any other questions? Anything else you guys want to cover?
So we all know each other.
Know each other. Yeah.
Way back, basically.
You still work with each other. After the adventure with in Drew's adventure, you guys still stuck together because you realized as a team you could make more money doing the things that you do. Strong arming.
That's Sled hold for us. Yes.
Between us, I would just suggest that they wandered for a bit trying to hunt down Hugo and the grandfather, and going from town to town, and they just ended up finding a lucrative place in an arrangement here, so they just have been sticking around.
Well, the Thieves Guild is really sort of a more or less loose family for Sled, so it's the mafia. Like they're part of the mob.
I like it. I like it already.
Just out of curiosity, is there going to be, because this is of every game I've ever played. We go, we loot, we plunder, we da 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 da, and I'm still stuck with the same shitty crossbow I've had ever since. You know, like, do we ever get to go to an armory and buy shit with the money? Okay, I just want to know if because otherwise I will donate my money to orphans.
You will have access to more. You will have access to buy. Well, certainly higher crafted. They'll be mostly mundane, but you will definitely be able to buy a better one.
What's the starting money going to be? Because I've got like 15 pieces of gold because I didn't bother to do anything with it.
Right. Well, that's fine. Remember, gold is something that you will come into as things progress through here. The other thing is Aaron, if there's something that you need, the guild will probably provide it for you. So if you want to put in a request for something, like you want a better crossbow, no problem.
All right.
Yeah, they have people who they have let's say protection money, so they'll be happy to give you
okay.
There you go.
For.
Perfect.
All right. Any other questions?
Not me. I'll get out of here then.
All right. So we've been going for about an hour and 45 minutes. Next time we play, we'll go for a full 2 because I'm going to start the adventure proper when we get that because I want to have everybody on board. I'd like to have TJ here and I'd like to have Spencer on board as well. I will contact all those 2 guys and let them know what's going on. I'll equip those dudes in the meantime. Did you want to get together again in like another 2 weeks, or are we just going to do this every month?
Every month. So I was thinking we'll plan this right now. I was thinking September 9th.
Okay.
Wednesday, September 9th.
Is that a Wednesday? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is Wednesday the best day for you guys?
Correct.
I mean, I can do it. I just have a Wednesday show, and so I gotta like prep for that, and then I gotta do this too. So it's only once a month, so that's not a problem.
Exactly.
Cool.
And I just want to say real fast for everyone in the chat and everyone who's watching, is session 0 what we're doing now? This is not the D&D game. This is the prep. It's the backstory. It's at getting all the characters up to speed on what the adventure is going to. It's like the preface. When you're reading a book, it's the preface.
Yeah. There you go. So, and we will eventually have 2 more guys playing, Spencer Harding, and we got TJ coming in too, who plays a ranger. So, and one of the rangers that went north. So, when we come back, we will get into it proper. We'll get into the part where I'll give you a little preview. I'll give you a taste for the next thing. We'll get into more about the guild. We'll get into more about the meet. You'll have the meeting of the territorial leaders, and you'll get some information from, assuming TJ plays, you'll get some information as to where they were going and what they came back with. So there you go. And you'll have a surprise character as well. So.
Excellent.
All right, guys.
All right, everyone. This has been Master Geek number 80, the live stream D&D. Who's whistling? The live.
Sorry.
Jesus. Mute yourself, or I'll mute it for you. God damn it. The live stream session 0 with Dungeon Master, Mr. Rollo Tomassi. So look for us on September 9th for the next D&D game. It's going to be epic. It's going to be fun. I've already had fun doing this. I always like to prep stuff beforehand. It's always cool. Yeah. And we will see you next time. So in the meantime, keep the fires burning, keep moving forward, and we'll see you soon.
Bah.